Hey, I'm Jillian Rose Reed, and I've been obsessed with design my entire life. Now I invite you to tag along as I explore some seriously unconventional spaces. We're talking everything from container homes to cutting-edge 3D printed marvels, architectural tree houses, a mini hobbit home, and much, much more, all with its own unique vibe. I'm on a mission to find out what makes living in the extraordinary so irresistible. This is Alt Home. Most animals have beds, cat trees, toys, but I really wanted to get to know this guy who not only created an entire community for his cats, but built a whole business out of it. Oh yeah, I think I'm in the right place.
Hi.
Hi, are you Alan?
I am Alan, the Catio Guy.
The Catio Guy, I'm Jillian. It's so nice to meet you.
So great to meet you as well.
Thank
Come on
you for
in.
having me. So one step into your home and I'm already seeing a lot of cat stuff. What's in here?
This is my office.
Can I see?
Of course.
Let's do it. Okay, so this is your office, and I'm already seeing a lot of cat stuff. We've got cats on the walls. I see a couple beds, a hanging situation, a tower.
I spent a lot of time here, so my cats are in here a lot. And so there just are a lot of beds all over the place. But this is nothing compared to the bedroom, the bathroom, and the catio.
The bedroom, the bathroom, and the catio. Okay, it looks like I've got a lot of stuff to see. Why don't you show me around?
Let's do it.
Alan's home seems pretty typical. His office does have some cat stuff. There's a few beds, there's a little scratching tower, but this is Alt Home, so I have a feeling I'm about to open a door that leads to something really cool. Oh my gosh! Wow, this is unlike anything I have ever seen. I'm like, the more I look at it, the more I'm seeing even more little doors and little spaces. Tell me about this space.
Yeah, first I had to get permission from the wife, but that was, once I did that, I tried to create basically a cat Disneyland and have as many different types of beds and runs and tubes and hideaways and everything you can imagine.
So I walked in and the first thing I saw was the elaborate piece over Alan's bed. But then when you take a step back and just look up, you realize that these catios are actually very intricate and there's many different types of play for the cats to get into. There's long barrels that they can run through. There's little secret doors that lead like from one room into another room. There's all these different sets of stairs. There's beds so that they can run around, but then they can just take a little rest and chill. I mean, these are like true playgrounds for these cats, all while coexisting with their humans, and that's pretty cool.
I'm trying to keep the cats stimulated, excited, and so they don't get bored.
So when they get really excited, do they just like run around them?
They get the zoomies and they go, all the way around and around, and they go through the climbing wall back there. And it's so much fun.
It seems like so much fun. Is it so much fun, Trey? Yeah, I bet it is. My cat also gets like bored and doesn't really love toys.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought to build something like this. I think my first instinct would have been like, oh, it's gonna take away from my home. But it doesn't.
Well, thank you.
It adds to it. And the fact that everything is like elevated is just so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was important to us to not take up too much people space,
Yeah.
so it really doesn't impact us at all.
Not at
because
all.
the room isn't huge, and cats love to be up high. And so a lot of it is, up high around the perimeter.
I gotta say, I learned something that I didn't expect to learn today, that catios aren't just cool and fun, but they're also really great for your cat's mental health and their longevity and just their natural spirit. So I'm thinking that I need to get one of these built for my house.
Well, I do encourage people, to, even if they live in an apartment, to put cat trees and cat condos in front of windows, and then the cat can feel the sun and get the fresh air. So there's always things you can do. And then depending on your budget, you can do a catio outside, and you can do a DIY catio, you can buy a prefabricated catio, or you can do one that's more customized to your house. But there's always a solution to get your cats more stimulation, which will make them happier, which will make you happier.
Oh, I love that. So I just had this vision of all of these cats sitting down like, what can we budget for our catio? Do we want the prefab catio? Do we want to build our own catio? That's awesome. I'm remodeling my house right now, and this is seriously making me consider having you come over and create something for my cat.
I would love it. I would love nothing more.
So you said this continues into the bathroom. Can we check that out?
Of course.
Let's do it. This is the bathroom. This is so cool. This is really funny to me because I have one of those cats that behaves more like a toddler who won't leave her mommy alone.
Sure.
So when I come into the bathroom for some peace and quiet, I get like the paws underneath the door or scratching at the door. What a great way to let your cat come in while you shower and get ready, but they're out of your hair.
Theoretically, we can close those doors, but we don't. So there is no privacy whatsoever. This way they can come in, we were brushing our teeth or whatever here, and they'll climb the pole right here all the time. So they follow us everywhere, and they're always with us.
So how long have you been building catios?
I've been building about 8 years now, and I think we've done over 400.
So it started as obviously a passion project for you and your cat. How did it expand into other people's homes?
Yeah. I built my first catio about almost 20 years ago now. I was living in a high-rise in Westwood on the other side of the hill, and my cats, I had 2 kittens, and they were not getting along. And I tried everything to fix the relationship, and nothing worked. And so finally, I built a catio on the balcony, and they became friends, and it was amazing. And so when my wife and I moved here about 10 years ago, we wanted to build a fancy catio, a really nice one for them. And so that's when I got the idea. And then it took me 2 years to finally launch the company. But since then, as I've said, we've built over 400, and it's just the popularity has grown.
You started a cat revolution.
I don't want to say I started.
You did, Alan. Take the credit.
I want everyone to have a catio, so I want there to be catio builders in every city. They do wonders for cats. They make them so much happier, and so I want all cats to have that.
This is really inspiring to me, and it's a bonus that like some of these structures you built really look like design elements of your home. So it's really, really cool to see, the two things kind of coexist together.
Yeah. We look at it that we really have 2 clients. We have the cat clients, and we want to make it as fun and stimulating as possible. But we also have the cat guardians as clients, and we want to make sure that their houses are the catios are aesthetically pleasing on top of the house. So that's how we kind of view it, and we're always thinking that way.
Wow, this is just amazing, but I know it's gonna get better outside, so I think I'm ready to see the actual catio.
Okay, let's go see the catio.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Do your cats just spend like all of their time out here?
They spend a lot of time out here. They come through the cat door. We have another climbing pole here, bed perches all over. And then one thing I love is that we have the litter box outside.
That's a big deal because as a cat owner myself, I feel like the number one thing we always worry about is where to put the litter box, how do we make it hidden, how do we make it not smell up the house, and you've created the perfect situation.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no smell, there's no litter dust on our clothes, and cats prefer to go to the bathroom outside.
They do?
Anyways, of course. So it works out really well.
You've taught me so much about my own cat just in these several minutes of being here. Now I for sure need a catio. This is awesome. So they can hang out in here, and then what is this?
So this is the original one that we built 10 years ago, and then we built an addition a couple of years ago, and this is either a bridge or a skyway to the main new addition.
You mean to tell me there's more catio this way?
There is.
Okay, we gotta check it out. Let me see it. The catio is really cool because walking into Alan's house, you would never even know that it's there, but then you go through his bedroom and out into his backyard, and it's this extensive thing, but it doesn't take up any of the space. He has a beautiful backyard here, but the catio is up there. It's pretty incredible how he's designed this space where he can function, his wife can function, their dogs can function, but the cats have their own incredible jungle gym oasis right here in the heart of their home. All right, here we are. This is the outdoor catio. Tell me about this guy.
Yeah. So we call this a floating catio. And what I love about this is it takes up no human space. And so, especially if you have a small backyard, you can do a floating catio that doesn't get in your way. And the cats love it because they're up high. Now this one has multiple levels. It has a third climbing pole. It has hummingbird feeders all around. And there's so much, green bushes, trees. So there's all these birds. All that is just stimulation, stimulation, stimulation. And then they also just chase each other around. And they come out at night. I have cameras in there, so I get to watch them at night.
Fun.
And it's just pure joy.
How cute that Alan put cameras in his catio so that he can watch his cats play. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable to see them all run around. So I know you were mentioning it's so good for the cats to have a stimulating place that they can play and exercise. Can you tell me the difference between indoor cats and outdoor cats and like their lifespan?
Absolutely. So indoor cat on average lives about 17 years, whereas an outdoor only cat will live less than 5 years.
Wow.
So if you have an indoor-outdoor cat, depending on where you live, it's gonna fall somewhere in between. And so everyone has their own risk tolerance. For me, my risk tolerance is 0. So I want them to be protected at all times.
So it really is giving the cats the best of both worlds because they get to be indoor cats, extend their lifespan, but hang out outside. That's so cool.
Absolutely. And it also improves their mental health because indoor only cats, whereas they do live to be older, which is great, oftentimes they do develop behavioral issues because they're not getting the necessary stimulation. So I do encourage people, even if you have only indoor cats, to play with your cats a lot. They do need a lot of stimulation. And then, like I said earlier, put cat trees in front of windows and things like that so they can, or climbing things on the wall so that they can get more stimulation even if they're only indoor.
That's amazing. Thank you for advocating for mental health for cats everywhere. You said that you've built hundreds of catios. Do you get any crazy wild requests?
Absolutely. We did one in the Pacific Palisades that was up against the mountain, and we call it the jungle catio because it literally looks like a jungle inside and has 2 or 3 massive palm trees.
Wow.
It's awesome. Another really fun one we did, and it was only a one-time deal because it was in Las Vegas, was it had a gigantic run that went on forever. I think it was ultimately more than 120 feet. It went around the entire perimeter. It went by a pool and a waterfall. It was spectacular.
Wow, those cats are living large.
Absolutely.
Now, we are in Los Angeles. Do you do any celebrity catios?
Yeah, we've done a whole bunch. We've done Wendy McClendon Covey, who was on the Goldbergs in Reno 911. We did Valerie Bertinelli.
Oh, so awesome.
And SNL writers, you name it. It's entertainment industry. So we've done catios for just about everybody.
There's something really special about when someone can take a passion of theirs and turn it into a livelihood, and that's exactly what Alan, the Catio Guy, has done. He took a passion of his, cats and their well-being, and he turned it into this incredible lucrative business. He's done hundreds of catios. He's done celebrity catios. I mean, this is a full-fledged business, all for the well-being of these cats, and it's really incredible. Obviously, we're here in your home seeing your catio. Do you actually make the catios here?
We build almost entirely on site.
Okay.
We do a few things here. We'll spend a day creating the climbing poles that you see in the bathroom and in that catio and up there. And we just, mass produce those. And we do a few other things off-site, but generally it's almost entirely built on the client's property.
Wow, that is so cool. Well, you've given me a lot to think about and consider with my cat and my own backyard. I think I need a catio. Thank you so much, Alan, for allowing me in your home and showing me this awesome structure.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure.
So cool. He's given me so many things to think about. I genuinely feel like I need a catio in my home now. I mean, my cat needs a place to play, and now I'm a little bit worried that she's bored. So Alan is not only the catio guy, he's an inspiration. Community is important no matter what your breed, which is why I was so fascinated to learn about a new trend called co-living, which is creating community housing that is way more than just a place to live. I'm in this absolutely gorgeous neighborhood. The sun is setting, the parrots are chirping, and I'm about to surprise the residents of Cohaus at one of their weekly meetings.
Oh my God, hey!
Hi, I brought pizza.
Hi, I'm Yesenia. Welcome to Cohaus.
Can I drop this off somewhere?
Yeah, come on in.
Thank you so much. Wow, looks like there's a party! Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I'm so excited to hear more about what it's like living here at Cohaus.
Welcome. So glad you came.
Thanks. I'm pretty blown away by Cohaus. I feel very inspired here. I feel very welcomed. There are so many different walks of life inside at that party right now, and everybody has just come together in this big supportive community, and it's rare. Knock, knock. Can I interrupt?
Of course.
Hi, I'm Jillian. It's so nice to meet you guys.
Oh, nice to meet you. Welcome.
Dave?
Yes.
And Lyndon.
Lyndon, nice to meet you,
I'm
Jillian.
so excited to meet you guys. I was just inside enjoying this wonderful community that you guys have created. So I wanted to come out and just learn more about you guys and what your role is here at Cohaus. You want to start, Dave?
Yeah, I'm one of the founders. It's myself, Lyndon, and two other partners, and we got together to create this what's called co-living. The way I like to describe it, it's sort of community living, where people have their private spaces as well as a shared common area where people can gather and be a part of a community.
So what inspired you both to dive into the world of communal living?
We looked at student housing and how efficient and affordable and effective that housing model is. So we thought that could also work for everybody else. So we sort of modified that housing model to sort of accommodate more sort of adults and to create more privacy.
We saw an opportunity. We felt that there was a need for an affordable housing option in a expensive urban areas like Los Angeles. So we integrated beautiful physical environments with amenities, and I think I think what differentiates our living situation is the community aspect of it.
Yeah, I was interested to come in here and see people from all different ages. I guess I had this idea in my head, it would be mostly students. I didn't realize that you really have created a space where anyone can feel welcome.
The diversity is what really makes the community very special.
Absolutely.
So, we typically have young working professionals, but we're seeing the demographics expand. It's not just exclusive for younger people. We're seeing more mature people, finding a lot of value in living in a place like this.
When you hear co-living, at least for me, I was a little bit like, oh no, how does this function? But there are multiple refrigerators, there's multiple dishwashers, there's like a million washers and dryers. This is a place that is truly set up for co-living, but you also get privacy at the same exact time. I would love to check out your space. Where do you live in the house?
Absolutely. I live right up here.
Let's go. Wow, oh my gosh, this house is absolutely stunning. I mean, just the staircase alone and the stained glass, and now we're in this bright, beautiful space. What do you guys use this area for?
We usually just hang out here like during the day, work on our laptops, just relax.
That's awesome. Do you feel like you're more productive when you have a community of people pushing you to do your work?
Sometimes it can be a little distracting, but at other times, if we all have work to do, then yes, it is nice to have a little companion.
It's really interesting because while the house does have privacy, everybody has their own room, there's also these beautiful communal spaces, and there really is a sense of friendship here. This is a place where if you struggle to kind of get out of your shell or meet people, this is the place to live. It kind of forces you out of your comfort zone and into this community. What a beautiful, peaceful space. But I want to see your room. Where's
Definitely. It's over here.
that? Let's go. Wow, what a cute space. And so clean. You're very tidy.
Thank you.
So I have a ton of questions just about Cohaus in general, but I would love to just get to know you first. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
Yeah, definitely. I just moved here to LA 2 months ago.
Wow.
I'm a life coach, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm an actress.
Yeah.
I do all the things.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why I chose living here is because I just didn't want to live in an apartment alone, especially in a new city.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone. Like, I want to be around other people and to meet other people and just like be able to do my independent things, but also feel like, there's other people around to hang out with.
Los Angeles is basically a bunch of suburbs that come together to make one big city, and it can feel like everything is close together and far apart at the same time, and it's a really hard city to make a community in. So the fact that you can come here to Cohaus and immediately have that sense of community is a really, really beautiful thing. So I've never lived in a space like this, a communal space. Can you talk to me about like the ins and outs of living in a space where you're functioning with a bunch of other adults?
Oh yeah. Okay. So it can be really intricate because this house specifically has 11 rooms. So that's 11 different people that you have to communicate with very clearly. Mm-hmm. If you don't have boundaries, like this is a really hard situation to be in. So that is like something that is needed in this house. It's just like really, really clear communication of what people want, what people don't want, what they're okay with. And then also having time for us to come together and actually talk about all of the rules, or if we want to have a party, like it has to be talked about and approved by everyone.
So there's a massive group chat happening.
Oh yeah, we have a massive group chat that's always happening.
It's really interesting the way that this Cohaus functions, because really it's kind of like a modern day commune. Everybody has their assignments, their tasks, their things that they have to do, but at the same time you have individual rooms, bathrooms, so there is this sense of privacy and community going on at the exact same time. I noticed something when we were coming in here. You have a little sign on your door that says, please make up room.
Yeah.
I've only seen anything like that on a hotel. Do you guys have a maid service?
We do, actually.
What?
Yeah, so we have a maid that comes in every Tuesday. She cleans all of the common areas and then she cleans everyone's bathroom. So the rest of the room doesn't get cleaned. It's totally up to each person to clean their own room, but the bathrooms for sure.
What a fantastic bedroom. And guess what? It even comes with a maid service. This is such a beautiful, bright, open space, beautiful furniture. What's yours and what came with the room?
Yeah, so the bed came with the room. So like the headboard, the mattress, the nightstand, the desk, the chair, and everything else is mine.
That's awesome. So you really can just show up and unpack.
Exactly.
Can I see your bathroom?
Yep.
Yay. I didn't realize you had a shower in here. You've got a full ensuite.
Yep, I have a bathtub too. Not everyone has that.
What? That is so awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing me your space, but I think we should get back to the party.
Definitely.
Let's go. Yesenia is so cool. I think I just made a new friend. like it's an answer to a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's an answer to being alone, and being lonely perhaps, that this is sort of becomes an instant network of perhaps your extended family in a way,
So obviously there's so many benefits to co-living. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. Are there any challenges?
The challenge is, ensuring that everyone is aligned, everyone understands, their role, responsibility within the household, and that they're respectful, And I think for the most part, we have a wonderful group of people who live in our residences.
That's so awesome. I mean, obviously community is just so necessary for us as human beings, and it really seems like you guys have found the solution to, like you said, the solution to loneliness. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and also for allowing me to come and hang out in this beautiful home.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
These people throw really great parties, so I'm gonna head back in there.